What is a growing sport that has a hint of danger, adventure, and who knows, the chance to find millions of dollars worth of gold? Well, that would be scuba diving. And today we're going to talk about it a little bit. And we're going to start off with talking about the history of scuba diving, and then we'll move on to cover a little bit of some of the dangers of scuba diving. And lastly, we will talk about some ways that you can become involved if you would like to. So first, we'll start off talking about the history of scuba diving. Men have been interested in scuba diving since before recorded history. There are examples of divers that was their profession in even early Greek history. So these people were restricted to how long they could hold their breath, essentially. The first major advance was the invention of the diving bell in 1819. And if you imagine it, it's just a large bell, kind of like a Liberty bell, that a man could fit inside of. Now, obviously, he could not see out of it, and he was restricted to the air that was trapped into it. So it wasn't much of an advantage, but they were able to go as much as 60 feet deep. But the view would not be so great. So next was the invention of what would be known as the copperhead. They're pretty famous. They have windows in the front, and the Navy used them extensively. And what they would do is they would tube the air down and bring it back up. And then their restriction was the tubing, obviously. So they didn't have great mobility, and they couldn't go very deep. And like I said, the mobility was the biggest issue. Finally, what brought about the ability to breathe underwater with the air held on your back was the invention of the demand valve regulator. This was invented prior to World War II, and what it did was it allowed a man to naturally breathe in, and that pressure that he used, or his intake pressure to breathe in air, would open the valve and allow that compressed air to be regulated, and then he would breathe in and out. And this allowed it to be strapped to his back. And that was the invention of scuba. It's pretty simple, but it's improved a lot. So these innovations also brought awareness to some serious dangers in scuba diving. One big one is known as the bends. And the bends was named that because the pain that was common in the joints after divers would dive deep. And what they learned was medicine had caught up with diving a little bit. And what they learned was that as divers dove deeper and they were breathing compressed air, the carbon dioxide in their bloodstream would become compressed. And then what would happen is as they ascended, that carbon dioxide would uncompress, per se, and it would displace oxygen in their bloodstream. And it didn't matter how much oxygen they breathed, that carbon dioxide was in the system and it wasn't going to be expelled through normal respiration. And the only treatment for that is to be repressurized, essentially, or in a hyperbaric chamber, and the treatment is very long. For one example, one diver, he ascended too quickly, and he was in the hospital for 20 days, and 5 of those days he was in a hyperbaric chamber. That's where the invention of dive tables came in. So nowadays, there's a lot of good things out there for divers to learn, and that's what we're going to move on to next, is the training and certification. So throughout most of the world, before one can dive, they have to have what is known as a sea card. They have to be card-carrying holders of a sea card. This is known as a certification card. There's a couple agencies that can issue this, and it's usually about 2 to 3 weeks of training on weekends. And what it is first at least 2 full days of classroom training, followed by a couple days out in a pool, lake, ocean, reefs, wherever you may be. That's the most common way to do it. It's pretty nominal fee too. It's only about $350, which is affordable. And then the other way, if you have no training, then a lot of people experience scuba diving is known as resort diving. This can be a little more dangerous because people aren't doing the pre-medical screening. However, it does give an opportunity for a good dive that is supervised by a professional diver, and you don't require a whole day of training to where, and this way you can enjoy a dive. This is a very big common in the Bahamas and such. So we covered today a little bit about the history of scuba diving, some of the dangers of scuba diving, and then two of the main ways